Charlene, who's created the Joy campaign, is hoping that her journey is going to help break the silence around rape. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining us. You wanted to break the silence. You were motivated, though, by your own tragic story.
That's true, yes. I myself am a rape survivor. I was raped as a child and then again as a teenager and in my late 20s. So my own journey inspired the Joy campaign, and of course hearing the journeys of others as well, other women that have been through similar experiences. That's what motivated me to come up with the Joy campaign.
Now, apart from a lot of blisters on your foot, and believe me, there are going to be a lot of them in, I think, 2 months is when you want to finish this project. You say it's an opportunity for rape survivors to walk, talk and heal together.
That's
Ultimately,
correct.
what are you hoping to achieve here? And perhaps more importantly, how many people do you want to have you join on the way?
Okay, well, the way that the walk's been set up is we're going to only walk for part of the day, and the rest of the time will be spent in towns and local communities, meeting and speaking with people. They're also invited to walk with me for an hour or two every day. So that's one way that we're going to start this conversation. The other thing is, the Joy campaign is about encouraging rape survivors to really own their own healing journey, to take responsibility for that, and to start a conversation within their families, because that's the one place where it's often the most difficult to talk about a topic like this.
Why is it so difficult, and how do you seed that conversation?
I think it's difficult because, you know, families are so close to our heart, and they're the people that know us the best and the people we care about the most. And so oftentimes when there's been a trauma like rape, there is a lot of emotion involved within the family, and that can get quite complicated. But I think that if we can start off with an openness within families and start off with a conversation where there can just be an open sharing without any fear of judgment or punishment, I think that that is a good place to start this conversation.
It's such a taboo subject. It's such a difficult subject to engage with. I would imagine surely before you start the conversation, you have to let the rage dissipate. And that in itself, I would imagine, is a time-consuming process.
Well, this is why it's called the Joy campaign. In the beginning, I had called it something else, and then I realized when I spoke to people about it, that the moment I said this was about rape, there was this reaction of rage and a lot of bitterness that came out. And then I thought to myself, wait a minute, this has to come from a positive place in order for it to be effective. So I called it the Joy campaign, and I made it about reconnecting with our joy. Instead of it being a campaign against rape, it's really a campaign in support of survivors and their families.
The joy of survival, in
The
other
joy,
words.
well, not only the joy of surviving, but the fact that it is possible after a traumatic experience like that to step back into your life and then into your joy.
I assume that you're also suggesting, as you say, that you hope to create awareness and engage communities in some form of dialogue, that as a society we're simply not talking enough about this.
I think that we've been having the same kind of conversation about this, and the same people have been talking about this, or groups of people have been talking about this for a long time. I think that it's possible to really engage more communities, individuals in this conversation, and to perhaps even change the conversation. I'm not suggesting that I know how, but I think that in order for us to create the change that's needed, perhaps we have to start looking at things a bit differently.
How long did it take you to finally come through your ordeal?
Wow. It has been a process of years. I mean, it's been, you know, there have been years that I've worked very hard on it, and other years that I've just lived life and carried on. But I would say that my healing journey has definitely been at least the last 15 to 20 years, yeah.
But surely it still occupies some recess in your mind.
It does, but it's changed. In the past, there was a lot of emotional charge connected to those experiences. Now, when I think about them, I see them as events that have happened in my life, and I really feel that my role is different now, that my role is one of encouraging and inspiring, and, you know, and also having healed that part of my life, I now also have to figure out who I am. Who am I other than a rape survivor? And that is what this journey is also about for me personally, as a personal pilgrimage. It's about finding out where I fit in now in this new role.
Do you have the support and perhaps participation of your family in this project?
I do, absolutely. My family's been amazing. My family's been very supportive, my husband, my mother, and I have some cousins who will be joining me in Worcester and walking the rest of the way into Cape Town with me. So
do you have any idea how difficult this is going to be? And I speak from no experience at all.
I try not
I
to
walk
think
the dog on a Saturday.
I try not to think about that.
Yeah.
In fact, I said to my hubby, let's just think about Sasolburg. Sasolburg's about 60 odd Ks, you know, out of Joburg.
You can't just write off 60 odd Ks.
Well, it's a start, you know. So I'm thinking, okay, if I can do Sasolburg, I can probably do Bloem, you know, and then from there we'll just take it town by town. But it's been done before, so I don't see why I can't do it.
Are you going to be safe on the road? I mean, let's be honest, our roads are dangerous places.
I know, a lot of people are concerned about that. I've done the best that I can to make it a safe journey. There are churches in all of the towns that I'm traveling through that are going to be supporting me. I have a driver who's supporting me, so there will always be people around me, and we've arranged safe places to sleep and things like that. So doing the best we can.
I'm having a look at the shoes that you're wearing here. Those are not going to work. You do
no,
know
those
this.
are definitely not going to. I will not be walking in these. No.
So what sort of equipment are you taking? What's the plan here?
Well, the most
rucksack on your back, lots of water, or?
Do you know what?
Walking
Also, because we're going to be going through towns, I don't need to take that much in terms of food and water. I am taking the basics. But really, shoes, I've spent a lot on shoes and making sure that my feet are sorted, you know, first aid kits and just sort of things for when you're walking in the sun. And so basic, very, very basic walking gear. That's about it.
Are you nervous?
Yes, I am. Who wouldn't be? You know, I think that it would be almost abnormal to not be nervous. I'm excited, I'm nervous, I'm terrified, I can't wait. So there's a whole mixture of emotions.
We'll talk to you on the telephone on the trip.
And
when you get to Cape Town, perhaps we'll just have you lying down because it's a little bit more difficult. Charlene Lau, you are an inspiration. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.
The Joy Campaign founder, Charlene Lau, with us here on Newsnight.
News that moves. eNCA.com.